We have been given 5 digits 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And along with that, we have this question. Using these 5 digits, how many 3-digit odd numbers can we form? First case, when repetition is not allowed, and second, when repetition is allowed. By repetition not being allowed, they mean we cannot consider numbers like 131 or 224 which have repeated digits. Let's understand the first part. Read the question well. How many 3-digit odd numbers? Odd is the key word here. As we have been asked for 3-digit numbers, let's make 3 slots. What do we mean by odd? A number is odd if it is not divisible by 2. Is 342 odd? No, it's not odd as it is divisible by 2. What about 531? Is this odd? Yes, it is, because it is not divisible by 2. Similarly, 325 and 243 are odd. In simple words, this 3-digit number will be odd if its unit digit is odd. So based on the condition we have, the 3-digit number can end with a 1, or end with a 3, or end with a 5. Correct? These are the only 3 possibilities here. Now focus on the first possibility. The number ends with a 1. In how many ways can we fill the first slot or the hundredth slot? What do you think? The digit 1 is gone, so the hundredths place can be filled with any one of the remaining 4 digits, 2, 3, 4 or 5. 4 ways in which it can be filled. What about the second slot? The digit 1 is gone and another digit out of these 4 is gone into the hundredths place. Only 3 digits remain. So the second slot can be filled in 3 ways. With 1 in the units place, and as we are filling the first and the second slot, we multiply this. And is always multiplication. 4 times 3 is 12. Given these 5 digits, there are 12 ways in which we can form a 3-digit number with 1 as its units digit. Are we done? No, we still have to look at these 2 cases. In the second case, the digit 3 is gone. The first slot can be filled with 1 or a 2 or a 4 or a 5. 4 ways. As 2 digits are gone, the tens place can be filled in 3 ways. Again, as we are filling the first and the second slot, we have a multiplication sign here. Given these 5 digits, there are 12 ways in which we can form a 3-digit number with 3 as its units digit. And similarly, we get a 12 here as well. Let's zoom out slightly. What do we do with these 3 numbers? Do we add them or multiply them? To know the answer, just use plain English. The units digit is 1 and 3 and 5. Or should we say that the units digit can be 1 or 3 or a 5? Of course, it's an or. Based on the condition given, the units digit can be 1 or 3 or 5. And or implies plus. Adding these 3, we get the answer as 36 ways. 36 ways in which we can form 3-digit odd numbers using these 5 digits. Now this was slightly long and a more logical way of solving this. Now that we know the concept, let's look at a quicker way to solve it. We know it is a 3-digit number. What is the condition given to us? The condition is that the number should be odd. Remember a golden rule. Whenever we are given a condition, start with it. As the condition is about the numbers being odd, we can be sure that it depends on the units digit. So we start off with the units digit slot. In how many ways can we fill this slot? It can be filled with a 1 or a 3 or a 5. 3 ways. Now we can move on to the other 2 slots. 1 digit is gone. It doesn't matter what digit it is. If 1 digit is gone, then 4 remain. The hundredths place can be filled in 4 ways. If the units digit is filled with 1, any digit from 2, 3, 4 or 5 can be in the hundredths place. If the units digit is filled with 3, any digit from 1, 2, 4 or 5 can be in the hundreds place. And when 2 digits are used for the hundreds and the units place, just 3 remain. The second slot can be filled in 3 ways. And we multiply these to get the answer 36 ways. We got the same answer, but a lot quicker. Some of you would be thinking, why start with the condition? What if we don't? Let's say we decide to start with the hundreds place. In how many ways can we fill the hundreds place digit? We can fill it with any of the 5 digits. 5 ways. Having used 1 digit here, the tens place can be filled in 4 ways. And now we come to the units place. In how many ways can we fill the units place? Can we say 3 ways as 3 digits are left? Maybe not. Let's say we used a 1 here. We have 2, 3, 4 and 5 left. Say I pick a 3 here. Now, in how many ways can the units digit be filled? It has to be odd. The only odd digit that remains is 5. It can be filled in just 1 way, and that's 5. Let's take another scenario. Say we filled the hundreds place with 2 and we picked a 4 in the tens place. Now tell me, in how many ways can we fill the units digit? 1, 3 or 5. All will keep the number odd. In this case, there are 3 ways in which the units digit can be filled. So we end up with conflicting answers if we don't start with the condition. When forming numbers, remember to start with the condition. There are 36 ways in which we can form 3-digit odd numbers using these 5 digits if repetition is not allowed. And what if repetition is allowed? Remember, life becomes really easy if repetition is allowed. Let's solve it on a new page. Using these 5 digits, how many 3-digit odd numbers can be formed if repetition is allowed? Okay, let's solve the second part. We are talking about 3-digit numbers here and they have to be odd. Let's start with the condition. In how many ways can we fill the units digit? As the number has to be odd, we can fill the units digit with either a 1 or a 3 or a 5. 3 ways in which the units digit can be filled. We are done with the condition. In how many ways can we fill the hundreds place now? What do you think? As 1 digit is used here, the hundreds place can be filled in 4 ways, correct? No, it's not. Don't forget, repetition is allowed. We can use the same digit here as well. 5 ways in which the hundreds place can be filled. Any one of the 5 digits. And what about the tens place? Again, it can be filled with any one of the 5 digits. 5 ways. As we are filling the first and the second and the third slot, we multiply these numbers. We get the answer as 75 ways. There are 75 3-digit odd numbers we can form using these 5 digits if repetition is allowed. Here's my last question in this session. If repetition is allowed, do we have to start with the condition? Let's say we start with the hundreds place. It can be filled with any of the 5 digits. It will be the same with the tens digit as repetition is allowed. And the units digit again can be filled in 3 ways. The answer does not change even if we start with the hundreds place. If repetition is allowed, we don't really have to start with the condition. Don't stress yourself out by having to remember this. As a general rule, just start with the condition. That's how we deal with numbers with a condition. We will cover a few more interesting examples in the coming sessions.